You are now listening to Toni On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you Toni On One Podcast with open discussions, hot topics, as well as information, daily health, as well as your news report. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. This podcast may contain some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. Welcome to Toni On One Podcast. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Toni On One Podcast. This is the third part to a 3-part series that I have been working on, and it is the impact of sex on the physical integrity as well as health. Now, if you have not listened to part 1 and 2, please go back and do so and come forward. Part 1, we were discussing the impact of sex on women's physical integrity and health, as well as part 2, the impact on physical integrity and health of men. And what we have found is that there are changes, there are certain consequences, and we all get the concept of body count, and it's been a huge debate. And we have not done any bashing, and we will not do any bashing on either men or women because it is unhealthy. But we will state the facts. It's just like anything else in life. There's wear and tear on the physical, the mental, the emotional. There are changes. And so today, which I think is the most important part of the series, is the influence of parental sexual behaviors on the development of children's integrity and health. Because let's be clear, kids copy everything their parents or guardians do. If they're copying their friends and what they see on TV, they're definitely mocking the parents. And kids want to be like their parents. I'm not going to say all of them because there are a few who don't. But for the most part, children strive to be like their parents. They want to do everything you do. So that's why I feel this is very important, that we should definitely talk about this. And guys and ladies, leave me your comments. Whether you're watching on YouTube, comment in the box below, like, share, follow, and keep up on social media so you can stay in the know of the next show. Alright? So let's dive into this. Now, in today's society, parents play a crucial role in shaping their children's values and beliefs. Now, one aspect of parental influence that needs careful consideration is their sexual behavior. Because like I say, kids want to be like their parents. They want to do exactly what you do. Yeah, you can tell them, don't do this, don't do that, but they're going to do what we do, or what they think we do. Either way, it's, for them, their perception is, it's what we did, they're going to do it too. And that makes this very important. Now, research suggests that parents' sexual behaviors can significantly impact their children's ideas of integrity and health. And that does make sense. Now, this show aims at exploring the various ways in which parental sexual behaviors can influence their children and the potential effects it may have on their development. And parents, we do have to own this. Mistakes, the good, everything. We have to own it. We do. It doesn't feel good, but we have to own it. And truth hurts, but it helps. So, parental role modeling. children naturally look up to their parents as role models. They're watching and observing their parents' sexual behaviors, and it can shape their understanding of relationships, intimacy, and notations of integrity. So, if we've got the ladies wearing nails, baby girls want to wear nails. If dad's a fisherman and that's what he see him do, he's going to want to be a fisherman. That's kind of how it works. So dating, they're watching who you choose, how you act with that person, how that person acts with you, the lies you tell or the things you don't tell, or whether you speak up for yourself or not, or speak up for that person or not. They're watching it all. Now, according to Bandura's social learning theory, which was done back in 1977, individuals learn by observing and imitating the behavior of others. Children who witness respectful, consensual, and responsible sexual behaviors from their parents are more likely to develop a positive understanding of healthy relationships and sexual integrity. Now, in contrast, children who are exposed to inappropriate or disrespectful behaviors within their family may develop distorted perceptions of intimacy and integrity. Like I say, if we've got Uncle Jimbo cheating on his wife, or Uncle Jimbo's wife cheating on him, and he's, not doing anything, the kids are going to think, oh, okay, that's okay to do. No, it's not. And they're not going to understand that those are mistakes that the adults are having to learn consequences from. But they're going to pick it up. Now, this could lead to them learning manipulation, and that's something none of us want. But it's possible. Lack of consent or objectifying are acceptable, leading to unhealthy relationship patterns later in life. And researchers have also shown that children raised in an environment where sexual boundaries are consistently violated are more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors as adolescents and adults, which does increase their, susceptibility to sexual transmitted infections and mental health issues. Because let's be honest, the things that happen to us throughout life will definitely have an impact on the rest of our lives and how we lead those lives, the decisions we make, and so forth. Communication and education could open the doors of honest communication between parents and their children, which is essential. And it includes discussions about sex and sexuality. Now, of course, age-appropriate conversations about consent, safe practices, and sexual health can foster a healthier understanding of sexuality and integrity. These discussions should emphasize the importance of respect, boundaries, and responsible decision-making in sexual relationships. And let's be honest, back in the day, there was not a lot of talk of it. It was always just flat out guided. So there was never really a lot of conversation. Maybe a few households here and there who found it, a little more comfortable to talk to their children about sex. Other than that, people pretty much found out on their own, or through friends, those quote-unquote promiscuous friends who were more open and comfortable with themselves. They talked about it more, but a lot of families didn't. And it's very important, especially more so now than ever, to have that open communication and education. Talking with them. Be honest. Even about some of the mistakes you've made. So they know, okay, so I can trust what my parents are saying because they're being honest about their flaws as well. And it all will fall back on what we're going through right now with the debates and the bashing about body count and all of this. It's hard for adults. There are adult women online right now and adult men online who are clashing. They're having a hard time dealing with body count and what they learned or didn't learn as a child. It's affecting them. And then some who are not knowing how to deal with it, how to cope with, okay, maybe I've made some bad decisions. Well, I don't know. I just did what mom did or what dad did. Nobody told me nothing about this. You'll hear it all. So let's curb that and bring that back down because it's hurting. It's hurting the children. It really is. They're watching YouTube. They're listening. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on, X now. It's not Twitter anymore, X. They're on Instagram. Every platform that's out there that they have access to, which is becoming more easy for them to do, it's out there. So we got to get ahead of this at home. Actually take that time to openly talk to them about what's going on, how things really are supposed to go. But we can't do that without showing them how it's supposed to go. Because it's going to make them hard for them to listen if they're going, okay, you say this, but you're doing this. And somewhere along in life, all parents have made that mistake because we're all human. But it's owning it and going, hey, yeah, I did make that mistake, but I'd rather you not make that mistake, so I'm going to be honest with you and lay it out. This can happen. You can catch an STD. You can ruin yourself and nobody, might not want to be with you. There are consequences in it all, and they need to know that. So these discussions should emphasize the importance of respect, boundaries, and responsible decision-making in sexual relationships. Parents who shy away from discussing these topics can, inadvertently contribute to a lack of sexual knowledge and unhealthy attitudes toward sexuality among their children. And again, yes, I'm big on research because it's information that has been freely given from people. Research indicates that adolescents who do not receive comprehensive sexual education from their parents are more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors and experience negative outcomes such as early unprotected sex or even unwanted pregnancies. Parental influence plays a big part, and it goes beyond education. So apart from direct conversations, parents can also shape their children's ideas of integrity and health through their actions and attitudes towards sexuality. They learn it, everything they learn it from home first. Things are taught, and them watching those are lessons. They're watching everything. They're watching and not capable of talking yet, but they're watching and their brains are forming and they're forming opinions. Everything's forming. So an open, non-judgmental attitude towards diverse expressions of sexuality can help children develop tolerance, acceptance, and respect for others. And on the other hand, if parents consistently display prejudice or discriminatory behavior towards individuals with different sexual orientations or engagement in infidelity, their children may internalize these biases and develop negative attitudes toward intimacy and integrity. So if I'm bashing guys and I have a daughter, what is she gonna do? She's gonna bash guys. That's unhealthy. If I'm a man and I have a son and I'm bashing women, treating them dirty, son is gonna do that. So if I'm dressing in a decent way, my daughter's going to dress in a decent way. And it's also going to teach my son that, okay, that's how a woman is supposed to carry herself. She has integrity and class, and she's got some dignity. She's not trying to show everything to everybody. She wants to keep things for that person she wants to be with. But it's choices. Everything about this is choices. You can choose to do whatever you like, but no, it's not just affecting you. It's going to affect someone else. The children, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, all the younger generation. And then they're not going to want to listen because you done pretty much already taught them all the bad or whatever it is you're teaching by what we do. What we do matters. What we say matters. Because children are going to pick it up. They are constantly watching and listening. When you think you're having a personal conversation with an adult on the phone and there are children in the room, they're in that conversation. If children are watching men come and go constantly, that's what they're learning. If they're watching dad get cursed out and cheat on, that's what they learn. It goes both ways with men and women, parents, guardians. What we do, how we act, our sexual behaviors, it affects the children. So in conclusion, parental sexual behaviors significantly influence children's ideas of integrity and health. And by providing positive role models, engaging in open communication, and fostering healthy attitudes towards sexuality, parents can shape their children's understandings of relationships, consent, and sexual health. Neglecting these responsibilities may lead to detrimental effects on children's development, resulting in unhealthy sexual attitudes and behaviors. So let's create a safer environment when it comes to the impact of sex on the physical integrity and health end. Because these children are watching, they're listening, they're learning, they're imitating and mocking their favorite people in the whole world. So creating a supportive environment that encourages open and honest discussions around sexuality is crucial for ensuring the overall well-being and reproductive health of future generations. Without this, we may not have future generations. So let's give this a try because these children are watching what we're doing. And the impact of sex is great on children. Thank you guys for going on this exhilarating 3-part series of the impact of sex on physical integrity and health when it comes to women, men, and the influence of potential sexual behaviors on children and how it affects them. And it's been very important to have this conversation. Most people know it as body count. We don't judge. We're not here to judge. We're here to inform, educate, and inspire a more positive lifestyle for all. So until next time, stay tuned. If you don't like and follow, you might miss the next series. Be well. You have been listening to Toni On One Podcast, brought to you by On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk show. I wish you the best, and don't allow anyone to fuck up your vibes. I've been your host, Toni Williams. On One radio station listeners are awesome. Because of this, your voice is very important. Listeners are encouraged and welcome to call in live during a show or leave a message with your thoughts and opinions, whether it's the Sound Meditation Podcast, the Toni On One Podcast, the Sister Talk Podcast with Sister Such and Such, the Underground Podcast about music, or Inspire Our Podcast. We're trying to inspire the world. That's On One Radio. So listeners' voice is very important. So give us a call at 318-315-3586. Again, 318-315-3586. And voice your opinion. Hi guys, this is Toni On One. And I am here to tell you a little bit about my radio station. All shows are by On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Shows are available anytime for download, play on demand, and they're on most of your podcast sites and or apps. Subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. The name over there is Toni On One, as well as like, follow, and share on social media. We're on one. So tune in for raw, uncut talk.